Welcome to Film with Family. I'm Zach.
And I'm Austin.
And we are two cousins talking movies.
Sure are.
We talk new movies. We talk old movies. We're mostly talking new movies lately, but I'm sure we're going to talk about old movies at some point.
We might, but they're old, so.
Yeah. Might talk about old. M. Night Shyamalan's old.
Yeah, one of your favorite movies of 2021.
Absolutely.
We're going to go right into the M. Night verse.
Well, first I want to see how you're doing, Austin.
Oh, I'm doing well, but I mean, I think the more important news right now is how are you? Because I heard that you got a little virus recently.
Yeah, I got COVID.
Oh, shit.
But I don't feel that bad. It's just like, it's a vague kind of
Diet
a mild
COVID.
Yeah, it feels very diluted COVID.
And
Just like kind of like a mild cold symptoms. Just feeling a little gross, but not too bad. It's just kind of annoying just knowing that you can't really go out and see your friends and do stuff for a while. That's the worst part of it.
Yeah, the quarantine is what will get you.
Yeah.
Have you had COVID before?
Yeah, and it was also very similar, just like not even feeling very sick, but
So last episode we talked about Infinity Pool and that we went to Infinity Pool with all of our family. Actually, we should say, and this is a bit of a downer, but the reason that we were all together was because of our grandfather's funeral and brought all the family together. And since then, everyone's dropping like flies.
In terms of COVID, no one else has died.
No. Yeah, just specify that. Sorry, Grandpa. Rest in peace. But yes, people are getting COVID.
Yeah.
And my stepdad got COVID. You got COVID. Our grandmother got COVID. Our uncles got your dad.
Yeah, my mom and dad both have it. My brother has it.
Jeez.
As well, which is not good because he's got a little newborn baby. I heard he was living in his basement kind of to protect the baby a bit.
We got to be fully cut off. That's the crazy part of COVID is just still having to cut yourself off from society.
I actually got boosted a couple days ago while I was starting to feel a little sick, and then later that day I found out that I had COVID.
Too late.
Yeah,
you're too late.
But
do you think you got COVID seeing Knock at the Cabin?
Potentially. There wasn't that many people in the theater when I went. I went last weekend. It was Saturday. The night before that, I went to a metal show, a stoner metal show called Weed Demon. The band was called Weed Demon.
Hell yeah.
There was a lot more people at that, so it's more likely I got COVID at Weed Demon than Knock at the Cabin, I think. But my buddy who I went to both Weed Demon and Knock at the Cabin with, he doesn't have COVID, so I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe you just got too stoned, man.
I was pretty high for Weed Demon and for Knock at the Cabin. I will admit.
So what did you smoke, or what did you partake in before you saw Knock?
It was just a weed vape thing.
Oh yeah. Classic.
Took a strong hit of that, and I was feeling good.
Yeah,
it's pretty typical these days when I'm going to see a movie, I get high before. I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah, I got pretty high before seeing Knock at the Cabin too, as well.
You went solo?
So no, I went with a friend of mine, and we went to the new Chicago Alamo Draft House.
Ooh.
Yeah, which I don't know if you've ever been to an Alamo Draft House, but basically their whole thing is they're like a dine-in theater experience, and it's very much like a kind of a hip place to go see a movie. And you go in, and instead of like them playing some shitty Nissan commercial, they have like tailored trailers and clips and music videos that kind of like correspond to the movie. So like when we got in there, they were like playing an old KC and the Sunshine Band live performance from like Soul Train or something. You know, the my boogie shoes.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. This Alamo Drafthouse basically has a library of DVDs, like thousands of DVDs that you can rent for free. So
Ooh.
you can rent up to 5 movies at a time. You can even rent a DVD player or a VHS player there.
Wow.
You can actually rent out the equipment to watch the movies, and it's all free. The only thing that they charge for is a late fee.
That sounds pretty cool. I didn't know they did that. That's nice.
So yeah, I walked in there for the first time, and it's just the inside of the place is so well curated, like all this kind of VHS memorabilia everywhere, and like TVs stacked on each other playing random old videos, and it's just like a really cool atmosphere. Like big awesome posters of like Videodrome and Conan the Barbarian and stuff like that all over. And so it's like a really well curated experience.
There's just one screen.
No, there's
Oh,
six
okay.
screens there actually.
So it feels like a movie theater more than a bar.
Yeah, but it is a bar, and like they have a bunch of tables where it's like I'm just going to go to this place and just chill, I think, like just get a drink and check out some movies, like even if I'm not going there to sit in the theater. But how familiar are you with the dine-in theater experience, and what do you think about it?
Uh, I'm really not familiar with it, though I did get a couple of hot dogs when I watched Knock at the Cabin this most recent time.
A couple of hot dogs?
2 hot dogs.
You got 2 hot dogs.
I
Do you
was
eat them like right in succession, or do you like save one for like midway?
I took like probably like a 5 minute break between hot dogs. But yeah, that was like kind of my first meal of the day because I went and saw the movie at 1 o'clock or something, and I didn't eat
Uh,
breakfast, so I need
yeah,
to get something in me.
yeah,
And the hot dogs weren't bad. It was tough, kind of applying the ketchup and stuff in the dark, but I don't think I
yeah,
made too much of a mess.
yeah. For me, I just feel like unless it's some candy or some popcorn and a soda, food is not acceptable in a movie theater. Like you can never really pull it off. I don't know. Like it's nice. It's nice to get like a nice cocktail and a nice meal while you're watching a movie, but
Mhm.
the logistics of doing that in the middle of a movie playing,
Yeah,
walking up to each individual group or individual person and explaining to them the system, which is there's a there's a menu under your desk, there's a card on your table with a pen. So you look at the menu, you write what you want on the card, you put the card on this little like podium that they call like a flag, and then you press a button, and then a waiter comes to your seat, takes the card, looks at it, and then looks back up at you, and inevitably is like, "We're out of that. We
yeah,
don't have fish and chips. Can you do the chicken tenders?" And you're like, "Sure." Like oh, we don't have the pale ale. We don't have the
yeah.
pale ale. Do you want an IPA?
And meanwhile, the movie's playing the whole
And the
time.
movie is playing. You're
Dave Bautista's explaining the
yes,
the whole
the
situation.
crucial parts of the fucking movie, like
Yeah, that
explaining
is
like
not good.
it's terrible. It is terrible. And then so that's your direct experience, but then all around you that's happening constantly through the
Yeah,
entire movie. Every single person is having that experience
yeah,
individually.
yeah. I'm
And I
not
think like
interested in that.
and I have nothing against the wait staff. Like they were all cool. Everybody there seems to be doing a great job. And again, like the place is it's a good place. Like I'm happy it exists in Chicago. But if there was ever a fucking reason to get robotic waiters and use apps and do
Yeah.
some kind of technological advancement on this. Like, you cannot be using cards and having people like hunched over, like running around in a theater and delivering like Reuben sandwiches to people. Like, it's just doesn't fucking make sense.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
hot take.
Yeah. I don't like the sound of that. I think getting food before the movie starts and bringing in the theater, that's okay. But trying to take orders in the theater while the movie's going, that's a no-go.
Yeah, that's a no go. I'm very easily distracted,
Mm-hmm.
and it's my number one pet peeve is people talking to me or talking at all in a theater experience. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just can't handle it. So it's like it's kind of a nightmare to me.
Yeah. So you didn't have a good time at Knock at the Cabin.
Well, I mean, well, tell me about your theater experience. I've talked enough.
Yeah, I had a fine movie theater experience. I feel like there wasn't too many people in the theaters, just me and my buddy, and I had my two hot dogs and had some popcorn, a bottle of water. That's all I
What
needed.
what theater did you go to? What is it like?
This was in Royal Oak. It's called the Imagine Theater, and this is a theater me and my friends go to a lot. It's got the nice, comfy, lazy boy chairs where you can recline and you can like they're temperature controlled. So
Temperature control.
yeah, you can like have them heated or cold or whatever.
Whoa, I've never experienced that.
Yeah, they're really nice. I don't really mess with the temperature controls too much, but I always lean back real nice. And yeah, this is a very nice theater, very comfortable. So yeah, that all that was good. No complaints there.
Nice. Yeah. The recliner chairs are always really nice, but you do get like a variety now because it's almost like standard for like a Regal or an AMC to have the recliner chairs, and sometimes you have like the really like squeaky ones
Hmm.
or like, but then there's some that are like so nice and you're just like, wow, I could be here all day.
Yeah, these are definitely top the line recliner chairs.
Yeah.
I got no complaints with them.
Yeah. I got a nice recliner chair at home
Ooh,
that uh is nice when I watch movies at home.
that's your go-to when you're watching a movie at home.
Yeah, if I really want to like watch a movie, like I want to zone in on it, I like adjust the TV to like face the recliner and I just sit there and just let it just really sink in.
Whiskey away.
Can you give a brief synopsis of Knock at the Cabin?
Okay, it's M. Night Shyamalan. I really like the beginning of the movie. The beginning of the movie, you got this little cute little Asian girl putting these grasshoppers in a jar, and that's really nice. And then off in the distance, in this big wide shot, we see Dave Bautista.
Crawling out of the woods,
Yeah, when
emerging from the depths.
when they show the Dave Bautista reveal, like me and my buddy just started laughing. I don't know. There's just something really funny about just seeing little Dave Bautista in the
in
distance.
his tight white shirt.
Yeah,
He's like just barely fitting in that shirt.
yeah, with his little glasses. But
Yeah.
yeah, he walks over to this little girl and kind of they have a really nice little interaction and extreme close-ups on their faces.
Yeah.
The most intense close-ups you've ever seen when he has this like really gentle conversation with this little girl, and
It,
he's like, I feel really bad about what I have to do today, but I gotta do it.
it sounds so ridiculous when you say it.
This is a
Uh,
ridiculous movie,
it
and
is very ridiculous.
that's what I kind of like about it. That's what I like
Uh,
about Old too. Just or
yeah.
M. Night in general, he's kind of got this ridiculous
Yeah.
energy to him that I enjoy.
Well, let me just read really quick the byline on Letterboxd for Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah,
So we got save your family or save humanity. Make the choice.
yeah. Make the choice is a big
Is
one.
the tagline. And then, while vacationing at a remote cabin, a young girl and her parents are taken hostage by four armed strangers who demand the family make an unthinkable choice to avert the apocalypse. With limited access to the outside world, the family must decide what they believe before all is lost. What did you think generally, and what were some of your favorite parts? What did you like? What did you not like about it?
Um, I did like it overall. I had a good time watching this movie. My buddy, he was really loving it, and I was like kind of vibing off like how much he was liking it, just like because he was like leading over this movie's fucking incredible, and
Oh,
so
wow.
uh, he was high too. So I don't know. He must have been just at the right level for this movie. He was just like he was loving every second of it, and so I was kind of vibing off that.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think this movie is. I think Dave Bautista's great in it.
he really is. He's definitely the highlight. I just think he carries this movie 100%.
Yeah,
Like I think Jonathan Groff is always great. Like I think he's just a
yeah,
really interesting actor. But like you could replace any other person in this movie,
right.
except Batista, and like it would work
Hmm.
just the same.
Seeing him being like so sympathetic and empathetic, and but also him just being this huge guy, and he's like like a second grade teacher or something, and
Yeah, he's a coach.
yeah, and everything about his character kind of carries the movie.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, the side character, I kind of like the weird little white girl that's also that part of one of the invaders. Like she's kind of got an interesting energy.
yeah. That's Abby Quinn is the actress's name, and the character's name was Adrian. She's kind of like, "Hi, I'm Adrian.
Yeah,
I
she's kind of got
am
this anxious energy.
I'm a new mom," and they were trying to use her, I feel like, as like the comedy relief. Like pretty much everybody else in this movie seems literally, if not figuratively, tortured. Like,
Yeah.
like whether it's the people who are actually tied up, the couple,
Hmm.
and the girl is never tied up. I'm just like, if not that I wanted
Yeah.
when to be tied up, like it's fine.
Yeah, the
Like I
little
don't think
girl.
the movie works having like a small child tied up, but just the fact that like these crazed apocalyptic people who are trying to save the world wouldn't take that extra step to restrain the girl as well. It's like the movie completely collapses if you don't do that, or if you
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Yeah, she could have just run away or done something, or I don't know. But she
Yeah,
just
yeah,
sticks around and they don't really talk about it.
yeah, yeah. Well, she does run away at some point. I don't know. Maybe it's a bad take on the movie, but yeah, I mean, I generally thought it was okay, but
Hmm.
I think the M in M Night Shyamalan stands for meh.
Whoa, that is a hot take. Meh, Night Shyamalan.
I mean, I feel like he's a lovable loser. Every time I go to watch a new movie of his, I'm like, he's gonna do it this time. It's gonna be great. It's
Hmm.
gonna be like Sixth Sense, or that first time seeing signs, or
Hmm.
Unbreakable. You know, that was 20 years ago, man. Still chasing the dream.
Yeah.
Still chasing the big twist.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about this movie is that it like barely has a twist, or I don't even know if you can like really call it a twist.
No, the movie just totally fizzles out. But yeah, I mean, tell me more about how you felt about it. Like, why did you like it?
I mean, I felt like I was mostly like kind of losing interest in the middle, and
Yeah,
I kind of got back into it by the end. There's just some nice moments at the end. Like this is a spoiler, but it the whole movie is just like are these four people bullshitting about this apocalyptic thing happening? Like they're
right.
saying you got to kill one of the three of you. This got to kill, or it's got to be sacrificed,
Or
or we're gonna start killing each other one by one. And each time we do that,
killing ourselves.
yeah, part of humanity will be judged, and there'll be some form of apocalyptic thing will be unleashed.
Yeah, what do they say every time they like kill themselves?
I think he says a part of humanity has been judged.
It kind of has like a PG-13 vibe too. Like they're not really showing the violence,
Yeah, but it does.
which
It
is
did feel
fine.
pretty intense, just like
Yeah,
them putting like the bag over the head, and then like they're like
yeah,
freaking out, like they're really kind of scared, like they don't want to die.
yeah.
Nobody's looking forward to dying, so like it is intense,
It is
and they're
very intense. Yeah,
they're executing with these weird ass medieval weaponry, which I liked as well.
yeah,
There's like no guns. It's just like we're using this like weird ass. I don't even know how to describe these weapons, but they look really cool. So I like that aspect as well. And yeah, I was saying I like the reveal of like the apocalypse actually is happening, and like how you see like the plane fall out of the sky in the background, and then like the one single strike of lightning like in the background.
yeah.
Like that part kind of gave me chills. Like I don't know, just
Like it is really happening.
yeah, just like the slow realization, like oh wait, everything they're talking about is real. It's not just some bullshit that they recorded on the TV, which is
Yeah,
like the one guy who's not Jonathan Groff. He's like saying like this is all bullshit. They pre-recorded these TV reports and all that,
yeah,
which I was like kind of feeling like too. Like this feels like a little suspicious. Like they're only showing one TV channel. Like they're not flipping through the TV. They're just showing one news report.
right.
So it's like this feels like it's set up.
Yeah, and it looks just cinematically. It just looks like a very fake news report.
Yeah.
I mean, if it is real, it's like in this universe, this is the actual news channel or whatever, but it's just like an expository device to
Mm-hmm.
explain what's going on outside of the room that you're in because there's no other way to understand like what's happening in a global apocalypse
Right.
when you're just in a cabin.
Yeah, no cell phone reception, I guess, out there. So they can't check their
Right.
phones. All they have
Yeah.
is this
Right.
one TV that gets really good one
Which
channel
is such a
reception.
which is such a hole in the it's like, oh, so you don't have telephone service but you do have like cable.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
it's definitely silly. You just were down on the whole premise pretty much.
Well, also I will blame the theater experience too
Yeah.
because that the whole time I'm like is my food coming? And this guy's like hunched over like at one point a guy went and delivered me a huge bowl of popcorn and I was like I didn't order this and he was like oh sorry and like walks up and I was just like I was so annoyed. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was okay.
Yeah. I could see I feel like maybe if I watched it by myself, I'd feel a little bit more lukewarm about it, but like like I said, I watched my buddy who also loved old, and
There was
so
just
we
so many. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, but there's a few things about Knock at the Cabin. I'm just what, like, what is your theory? Like, okay, they're the four horsemen of the apocalypse, but then
yeah,
when
that's like
they're
kind of the twist is like realizing, oh, they're the four horsemen.
yeah, which I like sort of put together in my head already. I mean, it's four people saying there's going to be an apocalypse. I was like, yeah, and then it's like how they kept saying I've seen this 100 times made me feel like they're in some sort of a time loop, like a kind of like a apocalypse Groundhog Day or something, where like we're
Mm.
seeing it from the perspective of the people who don't know they're in a time loop.
Hmm.
That's how Batista knows like what the news person's gonna say, and that like I think that's why they have such a calm demeanor because they're like, okay, we've done this 100 times, and if we just
Hmm.
scare them, it doesn't work. Like we're just trying, we got to be calm. We got to figure out how we're gonna do this. or else we're gonna have to keep reliving the apocalypse over and over and over. Um, which I think is cool, but it's like you're just made to just think like by the end of it, they do avoid the apocalypse. And so it's like, okay, are we gonna like revisit the time loop thing, or like, and so you're just left to think about it in like the worst way, like just like, okay, so they're in a time loop, or and they're the apocalypse, or the four horsemen of the apocalypse, but like Batista's guidance, and like, isn't it like pestilence and death and fear? Like, I don't know what the four horsemen of the apocalypse are.
Yeah, like they made up like four new horsemen, it sounded like, or like they weren't
Right, yeah.
using the
And
right
then like
names.
and then one of the guys is like a guy who gay bashed one of the husbands.
Yeah, Rupert Grint, who plays Ron Weasley in Harry Potter, he plays the homophobic guy. Yeah.
Right, but you don't know that he's homophobic until he finds his wallet and he's like, "Yeah, it's him." So it's like, what's the connection there?
Yeah, that part was like a little bit, that's like kind of, I was like hung up a little bit on that. It's like, what, why is that connection meaningful?
And it's like, "Oh, and she's a nurse, and she's a mother, and he's a coach, and he's a gay bashing guy like from Boston." Like, what? Like, and that like they have an interaction with, they know him, like they have a history with this guy.
Yeah, it's like three nice people and one piece of shit. It's like,
Yeah,
how does this
it's
balance out?
just I'm like, and I haven't read the book, and I don't know how the book ends, but apparently the movie ends differently. Um,
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, again, I just walked away being like, I don't want to put the pieces together. Like, I don't give a shit, like it's whatever. But great
Yeah,
try, M. Night. Better luck next year. Go get him, Tiger.
yeah, I didn't let those thoughts really, I didn't think about the time loop thing. I was mainly like the one shot where he's like Dave Bautista's like syncing up with the TV anchor and it's doing this like vertigo shot thing.
God.
Like I thought that was just so funny. I don't know. Just the just the shot of Dave Bautista just like reciting
Yeah.
exactly what the news anchor saying, and it's doing this like really weird camera move. I was Something
Yeah.
about that really tickled me. I was like,
No,
this is hilarious.
I'll say, yeah, I think the strongest part of this movie is the cinematography for sure. Like
Yeah.
the extreme close-ups, the way that Bautista like walks up to the little girl in the very beginning, like makes him look like 1,000 feet tall.
Hmm.
It's pretty awesome how they like are able to make it visually interesting, even though they're like in one space the entire time, by
Yeah.
like, you know, by like using the white masks and the cool weapons and like just the the sheer size of Batista.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have that fun bit where like Dave Batista like kind of escapes and they show like a broken window and it's like a really tiny window and it's like, no, he can't be in there. It turns out he's in the bathtub. I really
Yeah.
like I really like that. Like it
Uh,
shows the window, then it's like,
yeah.
nah, pan over to the
Yeah.
shower.
And dude, how lucky is he that he didn't get shot? Like that
Yeah.
tub couldn't be that big. The guy is like
He's like
300 pounds.
80% of the of that tub.
Yeah, like that was pretty fucking lucky, which makes
Yeah.
me think even more that he's some kind of like deity or something. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think just a lot of it didn't add up for me, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I do agree the cinematography is a strong spot. I really like that one shot of like him like bringing down the hammer axe and like the camera like follows the swing and this like really cool camera
Oh,
move.
right. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
that one shot was super cool. I
Yeah.
heard that the cinematographer is the same guy who shot The Lighthouse, which is another movie I love.
Oh.
So
Yeah, and the
that's cool.
cinematography is everything in that movie too. Well, not everything, but a good chunk of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a good job at doing making a one location feel as dynamic as possible. So yeah, I definitely understand not vibing with this movie. Maybe on a rewatch I would like it less, but I had a fun time with this movie.
Well, that's good. Let's end on a high note. There is a connection between Knock at the Cabin and The Whale, which is they're both very confined films.
One location.
One location. One. They both
Both
have a
got
giant man in them.
yeah, a giant sensitive man who's always on the verge of tears.
Oh my god, dude! We They should remake The Whale with David Bautista instead of Frazier.
And he's just ripped, but like still eating.
Yeah, yeah. Like, just don't do anything with his body. Like, no CGI, nothing. Like, no prosthetics. It's just Dave Bautista just sitting there, just
I
being
did hear
like,
he was feeling disappointed, or like I saw some article that said like he feels sad that he's not getting asked to be in rom-coms. He's like, am I so unappealing that I can't be a leading man in a rom-com?
wait, what? That he was serious. He was serious, and he was like being really like sensitive like that and self
Yeah,
conscious.
he's being very sad. Like, do do people don't see me as
Yeah,
attractive? Why am I not being called to be in rom-coms as like the leading man?
that's hilarious to me. That he's like just this
Yeah,
like sensitive little guy who wants to be in a. It's
he
like,
does seem
dude.
really sensitive, which is why M Night did a
Oh
good
yeah.
job casting him because he's totally
No, I mean I think that like I said, Batista's the core of that film, and like have a I mean he's kind of sensitive, or like has like a very interesting and compelling demeanor in Guardians of the Galaxy.
mhm.
Just like very like the way he's very direct and like really good like dry humor. I would say that, and I'm not a big fan of anything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I would say from what I've seen in Guardians of the Galaxy, like he's one of the better, more compelling actors I've seen in the whole universe, in the whole universe, the whole MCU.
All right, so that's enough knock at the cabin talk. Let's move
Knock it
on.
off.
Knock it off. We're gonna bring on of
Ever.
our first guest ever on Film with Family. We're gonna bring in Drew.
Drew. And I guess we'll let Drew explain what his relation is to Zach and I.
Yeah, we're gonna keep that a mystery for a second, but we are
Yeah,
gonna talk about the whale.
The Whale. I'll just say really quick, I saw The Whale on January 14th. And it is now, as of this record, it's February 9th. It's almost been a month. And I can safely say I've thought about and talked about The Whale every single day since then.
Whoa.
It's been haunting me, this film. So I'm really excited to talk about it.
Yeah, and with that,
Here's Drew.
here's Drew.
We are here with our first guest of all time. And our guest today is Drew. And Drew, why don't you introduce yourself and tell the people how you know me and how you know Zach.
Hi, my name's Drew. I'm Austin's brother, and I'm Zach's cousin. We are family. Uh, I myself am a big movie lover, but not as big a movie lover as these fellas. So they asked me to watch The Whale, and I did reluctantly over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks.
You watched the movie over the course of
I
3 weeks?
watched, no, I was pressured to watch the movie over the course of 2 to 3 weeks, but then I also did watch it incrementally over the course of two.
Like a couple days, the last couple days, you've been just kind of
Just
eating little bites of it.
Couple
taking, yeah,
minutes.
little nibbles.
Well, it's good to have you, Drew.
Thank you for having.
Uh, and you're are you the older brother or the younger
Oh
brother,
yeah,
Yeah, what
Austin?
are you? Yeah.
let's get into that. Well, my father used to tell me that I was the younger brother, and he still does by 5 years.
Yeah.
So younger by 5 years, and yeah, I'm a good, I'm a good little brother. I'm annoying.
No, you're good.
No, but that's what a little brother is supposed to do.
But you are older than me. You're the older cousin.
I am the older cousin than you. I should get into that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Otherwise,
audience needs
we'll
to
be,
know.
we will be lost. Which should primarily be mostly our family members. So this is news to them. Yeah, real.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the only people who's going to be listening to this are our family.
Did you know that Zach is younger than Drew? Yeah.
You
Said
wouldn't
my
guess
mom
it.
to your mom.
So, Drew, you're right. We did task you with watching The Whale because I watched it alone here in Rogers Park, Chicago, where you also live. I encouraged you to come with me, but you refused.
Yeah.
With good reason, I think.
Well,
Well,
I was gonna save that one, but
you just did it.
Well,
whales out of the bag.
so why were you apprehensive to go see The Whale? What
Well,
about
because
it?
I always want to see stupid Marvel movies with Austin. He never wants to go. I'm gonna see some fat man jerk off in front of 1,000 people and laugh my ass off. I'm gonna be ostracized from the whole world because I'm a shit.
Yeah.
That's
Honestly,
exactly gonna happen right now.
yeah, honestly, when I saw it, I was suppressing a lot of laughter, and mainly because I was thinking about if I would have taken you.
It would be fucking
You
over. God.
Yeah,
But,
how was your crowd, Austin? Was it packed crowd for The Whale?
No, it was just like 5 other sporadic lone men. Just a movie for lonely men.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Meatball
was.
subs in hand.
Yeah, were they all fat or
No,
not
no, I think nobody was in shape. I'll put it that way, including myself.
Yeah, I don't go see The Whale if you're really fat. It's like I remember when I was wearing like a dumb fedora and I saw Mark Maron and he was telling a bunch of hat jokes. I felt like such a piece of shit.
Did you notice that so the pizza shop
Gambino's?
Gambino's, they have a little fedora hat on if you look at the car when it's pulling out and he like sees the delivery guy driving away and it has the Gambino sign, the O and the Gambinos has a little fedora on.
Yeah, that's the delivery guy that keeps walking up asking the Gambino man with the heart of gold.
He doesn't have a heart of gold though. We'll get to that. Let's go.
I meant cholesterol. I meant the golden
yeah, he has literally
He's a golden
it's
cholesterol.
literally a not dying heart. Drew, I want to back up just slightly because you and I
Deep.
yeah, that is part in the movie.
That's the
Oh my
cheapest
God.
fat joke there is.
It's a fat person chair. Sit down. Beep beep beep.
Beep, beep, beep. I'm fucking
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser doesn't like that joke either. He's in on some of the fat jokes, but when she does that, he gives her the nastiest looks. Like,
Yeah, he's like,
that
"Fuck
was
that."
low.
Yeah, I mean, it's again the cheapest joke you could possibly make against a fat person. But if we're gonna back it up, Austin, please use the beep.
Okay. Anytime I reverse course, I'll use the beep beep beep.
Beep, beep,
So
beep.
if you could,
Drew, I want to beep 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 back it up just a little bit to talk about your history with Brendan Fraser movies.
yeah. So growing up, I lived on two sides of the tracks. I lived in Des Plaines, Illinois, where my dad did not have cable. We had 3 channels: WCIU, UPN, and Fox. But I did have a TV with a VHS player in it that, I had whatever garage sale items were available, which were mostly The Mummy Returns, Bedazzled. It didn't have Monkey Bone, but damn it, did I want it. Only because that was the best Brendan Fraser movie you could get, and I just had all the ones that were not as good.
Yeah.
but I watched them, you know, and because it's like if I was at my dad's place for the weekend, our father Austin, who you may know,
Yeah.
I would just be stuck with The Mummy and Bedazzled and The Mummy Returns. You want to hear my favorite line from The Mummy Returns?
Yes.
No, I hate mummies.
That's a Brendan line.
That is no. Yeah, no, it's a Brendan line.
It is. Brendan says that.
Actually, the Mummy says.
The Mummy says, "I hate mummies."
Yeah, he says it.
He looks right at the camera and says, "I hate mummies."
Exactly.
The Mummy looks at the camera and he goes, "Who would want to be with a person like me?"
Like,
mummies are beautiful.
They're amazing.
Mummies are amazing.
Oh my God. But so do you like those movies? Do you like The Mummy, The Mummy Returns? Do you like Bedazzled?
no, I know. I know I love those movies, but they're awful, you know.
But so Brendan Fraser holds a special place in your heart.
Yeah, Wednesdays and every other weekend as a middle schooler on up was that was a special place in my heart because that's what I had.
That's the only movies you had were
like these
Fraser related.
Yeah, and you know, Brendan Fraser's always just kind of like a funny actor to me, and just kind of like a goofy acting. Like, you know, when you hear about how he fell off, you didn't really know why. You just thought he was like, here's an actor from this, you know, era of, you know, just like whoever else.
Yeah. He's just like, one of the big actors from the 90s.
And then just kind of no more movies anymore. It's just
and then he just
know what happened.
Well, he's gone now. Well, so then was that part of the reason that you were a little reluctant to see this movie, that it would shatter your childhood image?
Absolutely not. I just knew I would die laughing because I knew this movie was insane. And like, you know, every part of me was like, only because how much people were like revving it up and like blowing it up. I'm like, this movie's gonna fucking shit. And I had no instinct of knowing that, other than the fact that he's like, this is gonna be amazing. And I'm like, oh no.
It's
and like,
amazing.
what is it? It's a movie about Brendan Fraser in a single room being like fat. And it's like his big comeback is like a big fat guy. And it's like, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like that's fine. I mean, it's like, you know, he wants to take roles, whatever. That sounds interesting and indie and cool. Like, we don't need another action movie, fine. But but God, I just knew. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And you know, there are some moments I kind of dip back into it and stuff. There's some moments that I think are done well and right. Yeah. Like him, the congenitive, when he's looking up congenitive heart failure and like, you know, like wrestling with like doing good or not, you know, when he's just like throwing the candy bars in and out of the drawer and wrestling with whether or not he's going to call the, you know, ambulance and get him over there. Like there's like moments where it's like, oh, like that might be somewhere to go. And then they don't do that at all, you know?
That was like some decent like showing without telling. Like we're just like seeing him. Like, he opens the drawer, there's a healthy snack and some tape, and he's like, no. And he's got a nice candy drawer with all the good shit, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get one of these bad boys. But then he opens it, then he feels bad, then he Googles, the heart failure.
And then he jumps back in and he wolfs down 2 Three Musketeers.
No. One and a half stops and then throws the bag back in the drawer. Yeah. And they're like, that's like kind of, you know, like the wrestling with like bad decision making and like the weird like vicious cycle of it, and just like I gotta do this thing, I can't do this thing, I gotta do this thing, I can't do this thing. You know, and like that was like, that's what that is. And it was that was told well.
Yeah. So let's just say really quick, for the uninitiated, The Whale was 2022 film directed by Darren Aronofsky. The sentence, like the byline here, is a reclusive English teacher suffering from severe obesity attempts to reconnect with his estranged teenage daughter for one last chance at redemption. And so, man, I don't even know where to start on this thing. Do we just start at the beginning?
Yeah, well, the first shot of the movie is already thrown away, or it's just like, it's the missionary guy getting off at the bus,
Yeah,
Right.
which is like
Weird.
very pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut that out. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't
It-
fucking matter. It's a horrible way to start your movie.
Well, yeah.
It really reminded of like Exorcist, right? Where it's like some guy getting off, like it was like
Yes.
the call that comes like the force that changes things. The
Yeah. The guy who's coming to heal the situation.
stir the pot or something, which he does.
Actually sucks. He's my least favorite character in the movie. I wish he wasn't in it at all.
Which, by the way, I mean, like for just a fucking movie to be such a play and be so like everything is the worst possible cheesiest thing you do in a play. Like everybody has like a pre-baked monologue that's all just itching to get out, and like it's just like something that's like pre-cooked, congealed about each character. It's just gonna, well, you don't want to know why I'm really here, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my god, and the things.
I agree.
Yeah, it's all very showy performances in different ways.
Yeah,
and the characters don't really feel very three-dimensional. They feel just like very surface level characters that don't feel real at all.
Yeah. Crazy.
I mean, there's only 7 characters in this whole movie, so we can
7. That sounds like more than there is, really.
Well, there's Charlie, who's Brendan Fraser. I always want to say Fraser. I'm sorry, I might say it a couple times. Just it's Fraser. I know we all know it's Fraser, but I'm gonna say Fraser every once in a while.
Toss those salad and scrambled eggs, baby.
I thought it was Fraser.
No, it's Fraser.
That's dumb.
Fuck that.
I'm not saying that.
It's like Ellie, where she's like, I got a better title.
Yeah.
Like,
it's actually
leaves on grass.
It's Lizzie now. Shut up.
Songs on myself, and I don't care. And drops a hard F on Walt Whitman. Jeez.
Yeah, that was pretty rude considering that she knows her dad is gay.
Yeah.
But he doesn't react to that at all.
No.
He doesn't react to any of it.
He's like, that's a good perspective.
Yeah.
He just justifies every possible action she could do almost immediately. It's so unhealthy. And he goes, you know what? The way to fix this so I can do one thing right is to give you $120,000 fucking dollars.
And it's like
the best thing I could do is die and give you all this money.
I can't parent like this. You should just have $120,000.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he acts like it's like you don't really get any context to what the relationship was before. All you know is there's this really nice guy who's dying of obesity. And his daughter is the meanest person in the world.
I know. Yeah, she's worst.
And it's like,
but so is Liz, and so is the mom. Like all of the female characters in this movie are so unbelievably abusive to Charlie.
Yeah,
like it's no wonder that he has mental problems. Like these people are like psychologically abusing him. Like. Liz, I think in the first 5 minutes is like, I'm gonna stab you in the stomach.
Oh yeah, the big joke. Like, what's it gonna do, man? The 2 feet in.
Yeah, and then she tickles him, and he's like,
the most insane laugh in the world.
Yeah.
All the choices are just so bizarre.
Oh,
so
one second he loves fat jokes, next second he hates fat jokes.
There's no like moral lesson there. There's no like. It's like, hey, sometimes people angry, sometimes it's sad. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't tell fat jokes, but also you can't tell bad jokes.
But yeah, that's the thing. There's like, I can't say what this movie's even about.
Yeah.
There's like, it's like trying to talk about so many different things, like obesity and like religion, honesty, truth, being an English teacher, cyberbullying, are people good? Are people assholes?
Yeah.
Homosexuality, absent fathers, like it's like bringing up all these things in a very surface level way. It doesn't dig deep into any of these subjects. It just like kind of like it gets bored of a certain concept or theme. It's like, well, let's talk about this, or maybe this is a hot button.
Maybe we could just get Brendan to stand up, and it would be really dramatic. Towards the beginning, when he like first just like stands up on his rock or on his
walker,
and like they just like try to show the enormity of his body,
Oh yeah.
and like the way that they use the music is just like, yeah, they just like try to like make him even more monstrous.
Sounds like those fucking
Yeah.
throat singers from Dune.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's
He's
like
so big.
yeah, it's like the giant awakes.
His internal organs are 2 feet deep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the music really brings in all the melodrama. That takes it to a whole nother level.
So I watched it again just now, right before we did this record,
As
and
did
I was kind of doing some stuff. So I realized there was an option to turn on the audio subtitles for people who are blind. So like, have you ever listened to a movie that way?
Yeah.
Where it describes everything in detail, like in between the dialogue,
Right.
explain it as best as possible.
Wait, for the blind?
Yeah. So if like a person is experiencing a movie,
like a podcast,
there's an audio subtitles. So like in between, so they just detail the film. So the descriptions are hilarious because like in the description it's just like a large man sits on a couch, or like when he's showering it's like his massive droopy torso. And like,
oh my god, is it ever droopy though?
it is very droopy.
I was thinking this time it kind of looks like a deflated balloon. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if like
Yeah.
real fat people bodies actually look like this. I think it looks kind of weird and bad.
Yeah, and he kind of has this like Christmas tree shape to him.
Yeah.
It's like triangular somehow. Like it's like his head is like the little like star on top of the tree.
I mean, that's the thing. It was like, how could you not be fat phobic when the people who have to describe this movie to the blind, unfortunately, have the unpleasant task of describing his body, and the nicest thing they could come up with is droopy.
Yeah.
Like, that's the most palatable word they could find to describe this man's body, which is like, of course you're going for the wow gross out factor that you can't say you're not being fat. It's like, look at how he like I don't shower with my curtain ajar like that. Like,
yeah,
I don't use a curtain like that. Like, just you could easily show on the top half of his body, saved a lot of special effects money.
Yeah,
and it's been like it's hard for him to shower, and been like, oh, we got that. Instead, you're like, oh, let's snippet of curtain, just enough for us to go, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I gotta admit, I laughed out loud the shower shot in the movie theater. Just like, I don't know, it was just like so overdone. Like, you've already showed him taking off his shirt and walking around. Now we see him in the fucking shower.
And like, it couldn't be more like the little cut scene from The Simpsons where Bart's like the super overweight guy, and he's like, I'll wash myself with a rag on a stick. Like, literally, his body looks the same, and he literally washing himself with a big dick with a sponge at the back. I'm like, are they doing this on purpose?
Yeah, I think Darren is a big Simpsons fan. He's like, oh, Simpsons fans are gonna love this. I gotta do it for my fans, for the Simpsons fans.
But then, like, in the essay, how like whenever he comes to the line like poor big animal, when they're like, and they just like try to show his like giant body.
Oh yeah,
whenever he says that line in the essay,
how obsessed he is with the essay that's so on the nose that like almost like when he read it, he like manifested this whole personality around it.
Yeah. By the way, this movie's called The Whale, and it's about a fat guy. Got to talk about that.
Yeah. So let's just talk about it for 1 second, because I mean, it is comical. The title and the subject matter is just offensive. It's immediately that you hear is like, what's the movie The Whale about? It's like, oh, it's about a guy who's obese, and it's like they called it The Whale.
Yeah.
And I actually recently went to a doctor who's also a bariatric doctor who works with people who have obesity, and I was like, just curious, have you seen this movie, The Whale? And he was like, no, what's it about? I'm like, it's about an obese guy. And he's like, and they called it The Whale? I'm like, yeah, I would really curious if you'd like what you would think about it, if it's offensive or whatever. And he's like, well, judging by the title, I would say yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's right. And he's a doctor, so there you go.
Yeah. And so Zach and I were talking earlier about Knock at the Cabin, and I also think that it's worth noting that M. Night Shyamalan and Darren Aronofsky both kind of have these like similarities a little bit, like in that they're like these auteur American filmmakers who made like one really big splash in the early part of their career, like Darren Aronofsky being Requiem for a Dream or Pi, and then like
Pie over
Requiem. He's gotten some accolades for Black Swan and The Wrestler, but other than that, like all of his movies, like The Fountain, Mother, like Noah, like all those movies.
A lot of people like Mother. A lot of people like Mother.
A lot of people didn't either.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Mother.
I haven't seen it either.
He seems a lot douchier than M. Night. M. Night seems more of a fun hang, if you ask me. I heard that, Darren Aronofsky has like an episode with Anthony Bourdain on like Parts Unknown, and they like go to Madagascar, and he's like really douchey. I haven't seen it, but my friend was telling me about it.
Yeah, that sounds douchey. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine Anthony Bourdain like putting up with that for more than 10 seconds.
Not seeing through this facade like really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a vegetarian, and like some like locals were like they're like slaughtering like a goat or something, and like he's like, I'm not gonna be a part of that. I'm gonna go over here and take pictures, and like just like not being respectful of the culture at all.
All right, well, let's not bash on the Aronofsky, because I do enjoy I thought Pie was a fucking great film when I was younger.
Yeah.
So
Requiem for a Dream like totally rocked my world. I saw it when I was like 12 or 13 when my friends were first starting to experiment with drugs, and it like I was like, oh my God, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
We're all gonna become like hookers and like lose our arms and like
I don't know
die a painful death. I was like, we're all fucked. And
I remember seeing Requiem and being like, this is really fast paced and cool, and I dig it. And then I watched it again, and I was like, this is fucking stupid.
Really? Did you watch it recently?
Yeah, recently. And I remember just every time I see it, I go, this is so like blown up and over the top. I don't know. There's something like that Darren does where it seems like surreal and kind of like puffed up and kind of overly dramatic. Like, I don't know, like a play would be, which is why this works.
Yeah, Darren's I'll see his movie once and I'll never want to see it again, because they're all very serious, bleak movies. Usually character studies, and it's like, damn, that was bleak. I don't want to watch that ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is no exception, but I managed to watch it again today, and I did not enjoy it, but
no, we should mention also that it is an adaptation of a play. I haven't seen the play, but
the play looks shitty too. Well, I just like saw like a picture of like a guy in a fat suit that looked really offensive.
Yeah. No, yeah, and it's like, and yeah, in the play, but it does seem like, okay, if they had these actors on stage, and there were incredible prosthetics that you could like, and these are actually it's very little CGI. Like all the stuff that you see apparently is mostly makeup. And so I think Brendan Fraser was in the makeup chair for like 4 hours every single day. So all the stuff around his neck, like they were just trying to make it like as seamless as possible. So yeah, if they had the play with these actors and the prosthetics look believable or something, it could be a very interesting play to watch, because you're in one setting and I don't know, but
those Snickers scenes would be tough, man. This guy's down 3-4 Snickers every play. He's got 3 shows a day. That's like 9 Snickers every day, dude.
Yeah,
he won't need the fat suit after long. Another,
but the feeding scenes are so insane. Just the way that he's like kind of issues towards the chicken bucket, and she brings it over, and the way he like rips the chicken, like,
And then she's just
stand-
gingerly
and, like,
resting
all-
on his arm.
yeah, and like the grease is just all over his
he's glistening, he's shining.
My favorite line from Liz is when she's like sitting down after bringing the 2 meatball subs with extra cheese. She takes them out of the bag, she puts it down, she goes, "What am I doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're a fucking nurse."
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, that's like the only time she like actually reflects on
what she's been doing, where she goes
this
like,
entire movie.
"Yeah, you gotta go see a doctor now. Give me a sandwich." All right,
Yeah.
here's your sandwich. What am I doing? It's like,
yeah, I found her to be the most interesting character, and I like that actress a lot, Hong Chow. She was really fun in The Menu, which I saw recently, and she's in Inherent Vice, which is one of my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movies. And I think she does a good job in this movie, even though she's not a really well-written character. But I wanted more from her character, because it's interesting that she's enabling him, but like there's like no digging into like why she's doing what she's doing. Like she seems like she doesn't want him to die. Like she wants what's best for him, but she's like constantly giving him horrible food, bringing him 2 meatball subs with extra cheese, even after
picking up the meatball sub that's fallen on the ground that he just choked on.
Yeah,
falls on the ground, and she's like, "It's still good.
It's still good.
None of this is good. None of it's been good.
Yeah,
It's just
All
bad.
bad."
Yeah,
Bad nurse.
I just wanted more from her character, to understand where she's coming from and why she's doing what she's doing. Does she want him to die? If she does want him to die, that could be interesting, because like it is kind of a burden to take care of this guy. So I can see in the back of her mind, it's like, yeah, maybe I kind of want this guy to die because I'm sick of taking care of him. But they don't go into that, which could have been interesting, but they don't.
Well, my final, and I know we're jumping around a lot, but was that, when the kid revealed that he actually wasn't a missionary, and like wasn't like, actually, I'm not who I say I am. I stole $2,000 and I ran away.
Yeah.
Again, everybody's pre-baked monologue. Like, do you want to know why I'm actually here? It's like, yeah, why the fuck are you here? And then like, but I kind of half expected her to not be a nurse after that. I was like, she's not really a nurse. He's not really a missionary. He's not an English teacher. Like, I thought it was like weird. Like, is this going to be like a bunch of these are like not misdirects, but just like, yeah. I will reveal my true intentions. Just like, no, she's just like a shitty nurse who's just slowly watching this guy die. And she knew he loved her brother, and then like watched him slowly fall into, and I'm like, yeah, like you don't really find out anything that happens at the end of the movie either. You're like, did she get the money? No, none of these questions are answered. It's like, okay.
Yeah, the missionary guy has the most like full character arc, and he's the one I give the least shit about.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about him getting back together with his family and all that.
Yeah, which isn't even an arc. It's just a boomerang. He just like, I'm leaving. He's like, no, you're coming back. Like, I'm coming back. And that's his arc, is that he left home and he talked to a fat guy for a little while, and he came home, ran out of his $2,000.
And the fact that like everybody is inviting him in and like allowing him to stay, like immediately when he first walks in, and the guy, and they're just like, all right, come on in. And then like when Ellie first sees him, she literally like physically pulls him in. She's like, come on in. It's like, why are you just, nobody does that. Nobody's like, you open the door as a stranger and they're like, come on in.
Nobody does any of the things they do in this fucking movie. No, all of it is inhuman and insane.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but yeah, just also just going back to the first scene, all right? Opens with him, talk about the misdirects, right? Open in. Hi, I'm an English teacher. No, my camera's not fixed. Hey, don't send a private message. Ha ha ha. Cuts to the whale. Cut to him jerking off. And so in my mind, when I first saw this, I'm like, okay, he's got his camera off so he can jerk off to the kids during class.
Yeah.
And like then I was like, oh no, he's watching full grown men have sex with each other.
Yeah, he's watching gay porn. And it's weird because like it sets this off like, oh, this is going to be a really horny character.
Yeah.
But really, he doesn't feel sexual at all the rest of the movie. Like, I don't know why they felt the need to like. It's just really just to make you feel like, oh, this is a disgusting man. We need to establish this right away. This guy's disgusting, and that's why we have to have a heart attack while jerking off the gay porn. That's the only way we can establish this right away.
We gotta let bad dying gay man go. Bad dying gay go.
We gotta let the audience know that this guy's a real piece of shit. And they do a good job of that, I guess.
Well, they don't, because they try to make him as endearing as possible beyond all of his like horrible vices, and he's always apologetic and like. But then, of course, he's been squirreling away money for years, which apparently like she wasn't aware of at all. Like he says he's an English teacher. It's like his whole identity.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, what do you mean you've been getting paid as an English teacher?
Well, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, like his ex-wife is like, yeah, you must be rich. You've been you have teach like one class online as an English teacher. Like you must have a ton load.
Which, by the way, can we talk about the wife's fucking voice? Like she's like some like, hey, go on. She like you know, like the whatever this is, you know, where you're like clutching your dress.
You're talking about Samantha Morton?
Yeah, and she just like a jilted country wife. It's like you go on to your horse. Ha ha. She sounds just like that 100%. And I'm like, are you in like Little House on the Prairie? Like, there's it sounds so weird.
Yeah, she in the audio description, it was like wearing an ill-fitting cardigan. Like
again, just mean to these people.
Yeah, again, another character who's just horrible to him. Immediately when he's like, I'm dying, Mary, she's like, fuck you.
Fuck you. Don't tell me that shit.
Fucking piece of shit. And he's just like, I'm so sorry. I did something horrible. I'm so sorry. And
he doesn't actually ever really apologize.
No, like, he does.
Now he goes like, I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you or whatever. Like he seems like he's pretty blasé about it and just wants to get to know her. Like, hey, come on, I'm about to die. Let's pal around a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? He's like, hey, come on, give me a break. I'm one day away from my heart exploding in my chest. Why don't you be a daughter to me, huh? Yeah. And she's like, and of course she's like,
I guess Charlie does suck. You're right.
Yeah, she does suck. And like,
Charlie sucks.
But the movie tries to make him and he's like, oh, you know, I don't know. And it's like, no, he did abandon his kids, and he's like not really acknowledging that. And the more like passive he is about it, again, the last week of his life, where he wants to do one thing right, he's not really putting his best foot forward. There's no joke there.
I mean, the last scene of the movie is him putting a foot forward. Actually,
he's got bad feet. he's got that fat pouch on his back that's turned brown. He's got mold in his flaps.
Oh, dude! By the way, can you talk about his daughter and the really unnecessary character trait of being able to remember everything? Every time I heard that, I was like, remembering everything.
Yeah,
just like an elephant, the whale of the Sahara.
Yes, that's literally one of her lines. She's like, "I'm a smart person. I never forget anything." It's like nobody talks like that.
No, but it's a very specific thing to call back at the end when she gets the essay and she's like, "I know this is my essay," and he's like, "You remember everything."
No, but they do that. She says it 4 times. It's not even like the rule of threes. Like she says it like 3 or 4 times that she never forgets anything. And every time she says it, I say in my head, the elephant, the whale, the Sahara.
Yeah, an whale never forgets. Yeah, and she just like, she couldn't be more awful. Like,
yeah, her first line of the movie is, "Does this mean I'm going to get fat?" when she like shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah, and also he says that, no, I was always big. I just letting it out of control. It's like, that means that it's genetic. It's like, that means she's going to get big. Everything pissed me off about every part of this movie. It's like,
it feels like it was written by someone that just like read it in one sitting and never did any edits. Like none. I was like, she just farted this screenplay.
Just want to write something real. Fuck.
And like, her Facebook is ridiculous too. Like, it's got a picture of a dead dog on it for some reason. Her profile picture has 0 likes, except one person wrote "dyke" as a comment. It's like the most overdone like representation of like a disturbed teenager's like
Yeah.
Facebook. It's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, and of course, like another homophobic slur just to really drive home another,
Unnecessary thing.
unnecessary issue
Yeah.
that's going
Yeah,
on.
she says this notebook is retarded in her haiku.
Yeah, that's the haiku that she writes is, "This apartment smells. This notebook is
notebook is
retarded.
retarded.
I hate everything," or something.
I hate everyone.
I hate everyone.
Yeah, then he has a laughing fit about that. Then he has like a mini heart attack. You could totally have a drinking game for how many times he like works himself into like a mini heart attack just like from laugh. It happens like 8 times throughout the movie. This keeps happening.
The thing that got me really bad was when the missionary boy, ooh, I like saying that. When the missionary boy goes, and he's like, "You want to know why I'm here?" And he like puts his back flat up against the door and slides down. She goes, "Oh, I'll do the same thing." It's like, are you
Yeah.
fucking joking, bro? That is like, it's like the play is play, like the most like student drama piece that's like just been like overindulged adults, from the screenwriter to the director to the people in it, like everything is
very
so...
community theater. Like we don't look at each other the same way anymore, Jonathan. It's like, "You've never made love to me, Mary." Like,
yeah,
like
yeah,
that stuff where it's just like,
"You love my brother."
So Austin, do you like the movie more after a second watch, or the same, or it's worse?
I think my star rating didn't change at all. It was 2.5 stars with a
Feels
heart.
generous to me.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I mean, I just can't. I give it credit for invading my mind for the last month. Like I have not been able to think about anything else. But I think like the things that stuck with me the most the first time I saw it were like how comically over exaggerated his eating style was. That was like, 2 large pizzas, here's a giant bucket of chicken, a candy drawer, and then like the ultimate scene where he's like stacking pizza on top of each other and putting deli meat onto pizza with salad dressing, and then the chip sandwich with jelly.
Yeah, it's literally
the ranch pour.
Yeah, the ranch pour is just
like he's Tom Cruise in Cocktails.
Yeah, and it's like
the
very,
chip sandwich. You mentioned that.
Yeah, the Dorito chip sandwich with grape jelly.
Yeah, that binge eating scene seemed like straight out of Heavyweights.
Heavyweights. Actually,
like
holy shit.
that montage where they're eating all the worst shit they've been hiding away. What is this? A deli meat?
And then like when he like he's reciting the dumb essay and then goes to his bed and like leans over and there's a giant 2-liter bottle of Diet Pepsi that he just like starts chugging in bed.
Well,
I forgot about that.
There's 2 liters of Diet Pepsi almost everywhere. Like there's a 2-liter like on the table next to him on the couch.
Then he has that huge sippy cup that looks like it's like fucking so big.
It's like it's the jumbo like 7-Eleven Slurpee cup.
Yeah, because that's like every fat person has to be complete with their like 32. Like that's what we think of when we think fat person.
But yeah, I definitely do think he could afford to go to the hospital every once in a while and still provide for his kid with that nest egg. Go to the hospital, Charlie. Like, geez, you don't need to be such a cheapskate. You should probably throw in some more money to Liz, your nurse, too, because she's doing a lot of work. She's your only fucking friend. That's the shittiest thing he does, is just like he's lying to his closest friend, the only one that's been helping him.
To try to redeem himself in the eyes of his family, he's using this person to like, save every penny. And again, it's a redemption story, but it's already pre-baked in lies, and there's no lesson here. There's no moral. There's no like. There's nothing. Yeah. There's really nothing.
No.
Yeah.
And it's like
it's all fucked.
Not all art has to be satisfying. It's like, well, yeah, but it has to be something. Like you're just saying so many things without saying anything. And like,
Yeah, I really don't know if it's trying to say if humanity is good or bad. I mean, obviously the big trailer line is like people are amazing, but it doesn't feel like people are
that's the
amazing when you watch
trailer
this.
line.
Yeah, that line's in the trailer for sure.
Mhm.
And yeah, it doesn't. I don't know if the movie even believes that, or if the movie believes people are assholes, or
Yeah,
it's it's
it's
just
not
like a
clear.
mishmash.
And are we to believe that Ellie broke the plate that was feeding the birds? Is that like why they
Yeah,
revealed the broken plate at the end?
yeah, I really
They
don't
kept
give a
like
shit
looking.
about like I don't know what's going on with the plate, but it's a it
No, I
uh,
rewatched that and I realized I totally missed that where he's like, I gotta feed the birds my little apples. And
huge chunks
like,
of apples that no bird could ever eat.
yeah, and also
You fucking
like
idiot.
they like crushed in his hand to like perfect cubes. By the way, he was like sprinkle. I was like, you cut those. And, like,
Are you trying to kill these birds with these huge
trying to
ass
kill
cubes?
these huge. I don't think birds eat apples. I think they eat bird seed. I could be wrong about that. Maybe apple seeds, Charlie. Charlie Appleseed, you little fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole plate thing is like just another dumb little distraction. Also, the fact that the 2016 election is always on the
Oh
TV for
yeah,
no
I
fucking
totally
reason.
forgot about that.
It has
It's
nothing to
like,
do with anything.
You hear like the news report. It's like there's no way anybody could defeat Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is a lock for the nomination.
It pops up literally multiple times throughout the movie. It's like, why this? I
Yeah,
literally can't understand any connection to this movie. Has a 50 themes that doesn't connect to any of them.
oh, and by the way, gay marriage has been legal for a while now. It's like, wait,
yeah,
there's nothing makes any like. There's no reason to say that except that
yeah,
like, hey, remember the election? Remember this? It's
yeah.
like, yeah,
Or when Ellie lets the missionary in for the first time, she's like, "Oh, what are you weirded out because my dad's gay and he has a daughter and like, yeah, he was able to find his dick in that." Like, and we're just like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you saying?" And then, okay, again, the whole relationship between Ellie and the missionary guy, and then towards the end when she like gets him to smoke weed, and then she's like taking pictures of him that obviously she blackmails him with later on. But then she's like, if you don't smoke this weed, I'm gonna kill my dad. And
yeah,
then like he's like,
oh
don't do
yeah,
that. And he was like, well, okay, then I'll tell the police that you raped me. And he's like,
Yeah.
what? And she's like, I'm kidding. It's a
Yeah.
it's a
joke.
joke. Come here, come here, come here. What?
Like this is like the
Like
most unchill stone like
that's the most heinous thing to threaten somebody. It's like, okay, either I'm gonna kill my dad or I'm gonna accuse you of raping me.
And
Like,
he goes, all
whoa.
right, I get it. I get it. It's a big joke. It's inhuman that it was like right after that, he's like, you know what? I feel comfortable enough to do drugs with you. Like, by the way, I used to smoke. It was a huge problem, but now that you've made me feel comfortable by threatening your father's life, blaming it on me, and also accusing me of raping you, I better get high with you.
Oh, and the other thing, like how Liz, so there's the whole thing is the missionary comes from the New Life Church that Liz was the sister of Charlie's partner. So he dies and they blame it on the New Life Church because he died doing missionary work and then he jumped off a bridge or
yeah, he jumped off a bridge and it sounded like he was like also like kind of like starving himself. Like Liz
yeah.
makes
Oh
some line
yeah,
about
is that
like how he wouldn't eat or something. So it's
So
like kind
then
of like a
there's
parallel.
the other eating disorder that they're throwing in there too. It's like
no? He eats because he couldn't. He eats because he can't no more.
Oh
He
yeah,
never did, and
I
now
get
he
it.
has to.
That's actually kind of beautiful.
but that's what I wanted to say is with the New Life Church, apparently they're like an apocalyptic church. And so I was really like, oh my God, the Knock at the Cabin
Yeah,
parallels keep
they do talk
coming.
they talk about some end times conversations,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really go anywhere. It's just like
No.
you think the world's gonna end and stuff like that. I don't
Yeah. And Charlie's read every single thing that they've ever
Yeah.
written,
know.
every pamphlet, and then he's like, well, you should read the Bible, and he's like, yeah, I have, and he's like, you have? It's like, yes.
Every word up and down. That's
that.
right.
Is it that surprising that an English teacher has read the Bible at some point in his life?
Yeah, there's literally every single thing about this movie you can kind of pick apart. There's too much to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But yeah, oh my gosh.
overall, I would say it's amazing.
Whale of a tale.
I just want to know that I've done one thing right in my
You
life.
fucking didn't. You made so many mistakes and continued to make mistakes all the way up until the very end. The thing that you thought you did right was finally making your daughter read the essay that you've been pining over for years instead of being with your daughter. And then you died in front of her, presumably. So leave her with that. I loved your essay, dead.
And
yeah,
like,
he was like wants to traumatize her. He's like, no, I don't want the
that much-
ambulance. I want you to
No, I'm
watch
gonna-
me die right now.
I'm gonna lumber towards you
And
and
then
as
probably
close as
crush you.
possible, and then
Fall on
collapse
top of you.
on top of you.
And
Yeah,
then
that's
die.
how it should have ended. I would have liked the movie way more if it is short falling
Just
on
her
top of her.
screaming for like 30
crushes
minutes,
her.
just waiting for the end. And they get there and they can't get him up. And it takes a really long time.
Like, and it's like a straight up like Family Guy fall where they just like are one frame they're standing and the second frame they're just down.
Just down. And
Yeah,
it's like
just-
you don't want to be mean because it's like, but this, they wear the armor of like this weird, they wear the armor of this downtrodden figure so that it's like they're beyond criticism in some respect. But it's like, no, it's like we're not bad people for making fun of this movie. This movie is insane. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it really has no. I mean, like the fat suit part of it is just inherently funny. I mean, like even Darren Aronofsky talks about in some interviews there was just like we were really trying to get away from the trope of the clumps and fat bastard and stuff like that, but it's like
you made the fattest bastard of them all.
I mean, like in the end it kind of looks the same.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, like it.
You're still making like the bottom of the barrel fat jokes too, like that they are as well.
Again. Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, he's like intentionally shoehorning fat jokes in and like calling him fat and calling him disgusting and like calling out very specific parts of his ailments, like the sack on his back that turned brown and the mole in his flaps and all that stuff. I mean, it's like, and like, yeah, when again, like the very theatrical language of it when he does that, when he's like coming at him, he's like, "Tell me I'm disgusting," and he's like, "Disgusting."
Yeah.
Like this it's supposed to be this big cathartic moment, but it just seems so forced.
Yeah, that's one of the worst parts of the movie. Is just
he could have said anything, and it would have been like the yellow stuff that comes out of my ears. Is that gross? Like, yeah, dude, we all know that's gross. We wish this wasn't happening. I'm sorry. I want you to get better. He goes, no, and like, or the ooze that comes out of every pore in my body. And just like, dude,
When I shit and it's black.
when I shit and it goes in the toilet and it stinks. Is that gross? Yeah.
But in the beginning when he's like, take me to the bathroom, I'm about to
explode. Well, I felt bad about that because I was like, oh man, it must be a whole thing in the bathroom. God damn it. You didn't.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, if they follow him into the toilet and just do like a big like
shit scene on a super tiny toilet.
Being like, oh.
Yeah.
They did everything but that. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's like they tried to negotiate the politics of like being like, we need to keep finding a way to get him food without him just eating in every scene. So we'll have the Gambino's characters like, by the way, you eat pizza every night. Just still worried about you. Sorry you can't make the door today.
And then at the end of the movie, the delivery man finally sees him, and he just has a disgusted look and runs away. Even though like before that, either he's like he was seeming like really empathetic and like concerned about him.
I'm really
And it's
worried
like
about you.
it's
Oh, I
like,
didn't know you were a fucking fat piece of shit. You two
Like, oh, big
extra large, clearly alone, pizza eating man all by
Big-
himself.
big
You-
surprise. The
you
guy that gets a
fat?
fucking pizza
Ew.
every night is fat, and you can't handle that. It's like
Look,
so
maybe
fucking
it's the
stupid.
Gambino's man wrestling with the fact that he's delivering poison to people every day. Maybe he saw what he had done to this man. And
Yeah.
I mean, that is the only aspect that's like maybe redeeming of that. But mostly it's like they didn't say that at all. They just said, ew, and then he just ran away. It wasn't like, this monster in my basement that I'm fucking creating. It was just like, oh, this is gross, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
Yeah.
running from his demons. If it was supposed to be that, it was not illustrated like
Yeah.
that.
And I love how like each time it's like clearly the same guy, and he's like, "Hello, hello, in
Hi.
there.
Hey, are you done?
Is everything okay?"
You there? I love you.
What? He's like, "Yeah, the money, it's in the what do you call those things?
The mailbox. Like always. Because again, I deliver pizzas here every day. All right. This is Dan the Gambino man.
I do say that I did find something relatable in the movie, and that was him choking on the meatball sub.
Of course, yeah.
Because me and my brother went to Chicago, and we went to Rico Bene's,
Oh, right.
and I choked. It wasn't a meatball sub; it was their famous breaded steak sandwich, which is a huge fucking sandwich. And I think I got like 1 or 2 bites in, and I started choking. And I
Wow.
was just like, I couldn't breathe, and I was like, I started smacking on the table, and then my brother's like, "Oh, are you choking?" And I was just like, "Yeah," nodding my head, and then he gave me the Heimlich, and thankfully it came out in one blap, just like one good push of the Heimlich, and
Yeah.
then the chunk came out, but we just like started cracking up as soon as after
Really?
that.
Caleb
That's what
didn't
brothers are
receive-
for. Would you ever do that for me, Drew?
Nope. I'd say you took my meatball. I want it back, but I don't want it back that bad. No, but did Caleb immediately scream and yell at you like, "What are you you fucking
Yeah.
idiot! You fucking fat! All you do is eat, and this is the one thing you do, and you don't know how to do it."
Anyways, here's the sandwich back. Try again.
Such an overblown reaction.
Crazy. And then again, just like, what, are you gonna die because you're eating? Don't do that. Another extra meatball, cheesy cheese, more meatballs, more sod.
Yeah.
And again, the way that she's resting on his shoulder while he's just noshing on the chicken, God, that is insane. Like at the
So I'll
beginning,
say that there's one line that like what Drew you were saying, like there are a few things you're like, okay, maybe that's something. Is when he tells Ellie like, you don't have to be mad at anybody else. Like you can be mad just at me. And I think that's maybe what they're trying to talk about in this movie, where it's like Ellie's, even though she seems really angry and cynical about everything, that like she's just mad at her dad, and like he's just trying to tell her, you don't have to be mad at the world, you can just be mad at me. But it's like,
Yeah, then after he says that, she like starts laying into him and starts yelling at him about all of his shit, and then he like starts like he's like so hurt by it. It's like, you literally just told her to do that.
yeah.
But he's
So
like,
amazing.
I didn't want you to actually give me all that shit.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's such a like if the theory is correct that she was just trying to save the missionary guy through such weird means, like, I'm gonna figure out a way to blackmail you so that like, and I'm
could have gone anyway. Could have gone
like,
anyway.
why couldn't you just be like, hey, like you should just go home, or
Yeah, it's so obvious that she had bad intentions in my mind. Like,
yeah,
took pictures of smoking weed and like recorded this confession of this thing that he feels deep shame about, and sent it off to the church. And
No,
then
guys,
and then
it's all about honesty and truth is power, and power is reality if you manifest.
yeah, it's so
That's
ridiculous.
that's one of the morals of this movie, like, which doesn't make any sense, but I know that's in there. Like, where it's like,
Yeah, they bring that up a few times. But yeah,
write
it's
something
so
honest. Fuck.
but yeah,
Yeah.
it's so ridiculous during that scene when the missionary is like saying like, "Hey, my life's great now because
Yeah.
your daughter did this horrible thing. I don't know if she was trying to be nice or being horrible, but now my life's great. She sent it to the church, and the church sent it to my family, and my family loves me again."
And he's like,
The church that murdered everyone, by the way.
and then Charlie's like, she did that for you?
It's like she contacted
Yeah, oh, yeah.
the church and
Wait,
she
he puts
contacted
up
the
his hand. He
family.
goes, wait a minute. She did what? Wait, hold on. She did, huh?
She
Again.
contacted your parents? What?
It's weird though, because initially he says that she only contacted the church, and like the church contacted the parents, and then he's like, wait, she contacted the parents, and then he just like he agrees that she did that as well, even though she didn't do that. Like he like changes his tune. Like I had to rewind it to make sure that he just, I don't know. It's just dumb. It's badly written.
Can I share a whale of a tale with y'all?
Yeah.
So right after I'm like nearing the end, I did it in like 3 breaks because I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. So I mean, I didn't do it full stints, but I took like intermittent breaks, got right back into it, got to take my head out of water, dip it right back into the pool. But you know, I ordered a meatball sub promptly by like
Good.
the 3rd act, the start of
From
the 3rd
where?
act for me.
Where'd
Order
you
a
get the
sub.
meatball?
Huh?
Where'd you get the meatball?
I don't know. Someplace.
Capriati's?
Nah, it was someplace I'd never been before. Someplace I'd never seen. But I ordered
the Garbinos.
Yeah, I got the Gambino special.
Gambino's meatball subs.
The extra sleazy Italian is what they called it.
The extra foiled up.
No, and literally. Okay, so here's how the story goes. I order me a meatball sub, and I go downstairs thinking it's already going to be waiting for me, you know, because I say leave it by the door, and they say enjoy your order. But the woman who had brought it, she still had it, and I didn't realize that. So I look and don't see it, and then she comes walking into frame, and what she's got is my drink in one hand, and then under her armpit is my meatball sub. And I
not in a bag, like just loose.
Not like a loose sub. Like he's not getting Darren Aronofsky over herself.
Foiled up?
Animal.
Was it foiled up like in the movie?
But it wasn't in a bag.
Let me get to it. So I, you know, and I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, this woman is trying to work. She's trying to have a good day. You know, she brought me my food. I should be, not thinking anything right now. But my sub is like firmly pitted. Like it's like pitted. And she knows it. And I know it. She wasn't expecting me to be at the door. She comes in, hey, and I'm like, hi. And she can't really, because I'm like, she's like in front of the door, but I have to open the door, and she has to get around. Now we have to negotiate space. And like, then she hands me the drink, and I'm like, thank you. And then she has to she has to rip the stitching or whatever, and she gets the box. She goes, here's your, and I thank you. And I go stare, they go, holy fuck. And the only thing, okay, so I get the sub, and it's like huge, and I'm unwrapping, and it's not folded up, but it's papered up, and it's papered up like a motherfucker. There's like at least like 12 pieces of fucking paper between me and the sub. So by the time I get to it, I think to myself, it's still good. And then I ate it and was like, we're all a bit of a whale. And then another thing I realized, just like as much as I want to be like, I am grossed out of my, like all the delivery and all the food and all the bullshit. Like, you know, that is one thing that whale means. Like, I'm a bit, you know, we're all a little bit whale, you know?
Yeah. I definitely am not a skinny person.
I'm not skinny. I'm a thick boy, and I'm indulgent.
And that pizza he got looked really good. It's like pepperoni and sausage. I was like, give me a slice of that.
Yeah, man knows how to live.
He orders it right. I'm like, that's a good looking pie. I'm right there with you, Charlie.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Charlie. I would
I
love.
mean, I'm
to-
not gonna put ham on my pizza. I'm not gonna throw potato chips in my bread, but it's a good looking pie at first.
Oh man, when he gets into that scene when it's like, here's the midpoint of the play, and it's dark, and it's just like slamming
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah. Well, like,
But
the first shot is him just tossing a pizza box with just like 20 pieces of end crust in it, and then just grabbing another one, stacking 2 slices on top of each other. I mean,
he's a penny pincher. He orders pizza every goddamn night. He's not going to eat the crust ever.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It'll be a grease fire in hell when he dies.
Yeah, when he burns.
She's a great fucking writer. That's a great line.
Just rationalizes every possible inch of her horrible behavior. Just the worst, like, possible parent. Like, I'm gonna parent from afar. I know that she hates my guts. I'm readily available. I need to turn my life around. I'm just gonna penny pinch and trick my friends into accumulating a huge sum of money that I'm gonna give to a fucking 13-year-old, as in she's in her worst mental possible state to receive $120,000. Don't even understand the logistics of transferring the money or what that involves, giving money to a kid. And I get that it's a story, but it's like, Jesus Christ, like, it doesn't make any sense. You're going to die right now after she's done with her fucking essay. What happens to the money, Charlie? Because it's going to go to her mom, because that's how that works. So you tricked your daughter, or you either knowingly tricked your daughter, or you just didn't have any backup plan, and we're just like, maybe it'll just get to her. Who knows?
Yeah.
You gave her a nice fucked up week though before you died. Nice traumatizing week hanging out with her.
see her father and her fucking, caraway.
Why? Like, he did work on an essay with her, but he submitted the 8th grade one. Why? Like, just so that she could be like, what the fuck, and then read it to him?
Like, yeah, again, it's like all like this weird twisted fantasy of his where he's just like, I'm just gonna get you to read it. Yeah. Read it for me. And then I was gonna say, like, and he's so creepy. He's like, maybe you want to write a little bit more in your notebook. Like, he's just like so creepy about it. You're gonna write just for me, my own private little scribblings.
Yeah, another annoying thing is that, like, when she comes over and it's like, want to write in your notebook? And then she actually goes and she actually starts writing in her notebook, and then he immediately starts like bringing up some other shit. Like, just let her write. She's actually finally doing the thing you've been begging her to do. She's actually writing in her notebook. And he's like, why do you hate everything? It's like, leave her the fuck alone. She's actually writing in the notebook. Like, it's like, it's so dumb.
Yeah, it's very complicated. It's bloated. I'll say it's a bloated film. It's got...
Man, these cheap jokes is what we were trying to get away from, man. Again.
The other thing I want to say was, like, when he's like, I can help you write these essays, and she's like, what? And he's like, I'm an English teacher. And she's like, no, you're not. And he's like, holds up his laptop, and it's a login, Oakland University or whatever, like Oakland College login. And he's like, look, and she's like, oh. You really are a teacher.
That's the directory for Oakland Community College students and abroad. That's the teacher's portal. That's the teacher's portal. You are a teacher.
Damn.
And why is that so unbelievable to be like?
Yeah, right. English teacher, you fat guy.
Oh yeah, can we also talk about the reveal at the end where he reveals himself to his class at the end, and how he pulls out a secret camera. He doesn't just turn on the camera on his computer. He's like, no, I got to get a little separate.
No, he's got a shitty old Dell that doesn't have a camera built in. So yeah, he like pulls out the USB.
Okay, I missed that part.
Well, I mean,
it was 2016. It was a different time.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like, he pans down his whole body and everything. Yeah. Like, look, you can see, like, even my legs are fat too.
Yeah.
He's like, it
doesn't stop here.
Yeah, it's like, not just my face, it's the whole body.
Yeah, and then what does he say? He says, like, class out of session. And then he
throws the fucking laptop.
Just throws it.
At a ridiculous dramatic move for no goddamn reason.
And then Liz sees it and goes, you're definitely committing suicide, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's funny because he's also like, I'm getting replaced for like the unhinged like message he wrote while he was on his insane little binge. But I feel like he would not even get that last class. He would just be like, "You're done."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're not gonna let him like meet with his class again. Like they would just pull him off. So that was like another like non believable thing. Oh yeah, I want to read what he wrote to his class. He
Okay.
Yes,
writes, "Dear
please.
fellow journeyman, one last
Yuck.
lesson. Fuck
Yuck.
these ridiculous essays. Fuck the readings in all caps. And I'll just write me something honest, all caps."
Right. Is this after he has his food bender? Like right after
Yeah,
that?
yeah. This is after he's like eating all the food and stuff, and yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Well, it's like
just like
it's kind of in the same scene. He like eats a bunch of food, and then he's like, "Now I'm going to the computer and doing this."
Yeah, yeah.
this is the real me.
His daughter's such like a dom. She's just like, shut up and stand up and walk at me. Shut up. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, she
oh,
like
just-
takes the walker away. He's like,
yeah.
"Get over here! I don't use that."
And then so
Oh.
the big ending is him finally lumbering towards her and then lifting off like Poochie. Like,
Yeah,
like
and,
just
and he makes this sound when he
I
lifts,
have
he
to
goes,
go now. My
"Ah,
planet needs
Oh.
me.
Yeah. No, my first, you've seen Powder, right?
Yeah.
I thought fat powder. That because like when the flash of light, it's like this
Yeah.
bald fat. I just like, and I just pictured him as fat powder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like some like trying to be like an A24 movie. It's like, oh, it's got to have some levitating at the end.
Yeah.
A24 movies do, right? We got to
Like
have aspect ratio. We have to have a 4:3 aspect
Yeah.
ratio. That's what the cool A24 movies are doing.
Oh my god, it's just so weird. And again, just the pre-baked monologues of every individual. Just the, and she's like, do you know what really happened to his lover, who's my brother, who's your best friend, who's my grandfather? Like
Your student,
again,
my
I
partner, your boyfriend.
Yeah, when all these weird reveals started coming out, I thought that everybody was just going to be related by the end of it, and like they all had amnesia. Like it was like just the weirdest like choices. None of it made any sense.
Well, that ties everything back to the theme of the podcast because we're all related.
Oh,
Well, yeah, this is it's a little bit of a family movie. It's got the mother, the mother and the daughter and
a
I don't know.
dysfunctional family. Okay, Drew, give us your final thoughts on The Whale. And yeah, score 1 to 5. Five fins or
Five
five
out of
meatball subs. Five meatballs.
I'll give
five
it.
brown patches on your back.
I'll give it one big blowhole. How about that? Big old goose egg in my blowhole. I don't. All right. The Whale. The Whale. Was overhyped, and it was unfortunate because it could have just been like a weird indie movie that somebody discovered and went like, "Holy shit, this is insane!" But instead, I had to be like, "You have to go see this fucking movie," and it was insane, like it was supposed to be. It's great, and it just felt really indulgent and artsy where it shouldn't be. But at least it's not another action movie, and there are some takeaways that I got from it there, but mostly just all over the place themes, layers of things, characters that just seemed super play and just like a student play. I don't know. It just weird and awful and great that it's so bad. Two blowholes
out of 5.
I loved this movie. I want 5 blowholes. The more I talk about it, the more I'm so happy this movie is.
Yeah. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I think really this is really just a bad script, and it's funny to make fun of how dumb it is, but there is no movie like this, really, which I got to give it some points for that. It's kind of a unique movie. And I don't think the acting is necessarily bad. I think actually Brendan Fraser does a good job, given what he's given. I don't think he does a bad job. I don't think Hong Chow, who plays Liz, does a bad job. I think maybe Sadie Sink is maybe bad. I don't know, but I think her character is just written. I don't know. There's like no way to like. I don't know. She does a good job of being awful, but
Yeah.
I would have liked to seen some redeeming factors about her.
Yeah.
The most redeeming thing she does is she makes him a turkey sandwich, and it's like, I'm not gonna put mayo on it because you don't need mayo.
Oh yeah, doesn't
But
she
then
say she's going to be extra small?
Yeah. She's
yeah,
like,
I'll make you. I'll just be turkey.
But
then
that's
she ends up
but
putting
that's the
Ambien
sandwich
in
that
it,
she puts the Ambien in. Yeah.
and it's like it seems like you'd really notice the Ambien in a just turkey sandwich. Like you would need the mayo to hide the Ambien. So it's weird that she says, I'm not going to put mayo in it, but I am going to put Ambien in it.
Again, like themes. All it's like, okay, so she does care, or she's pretending to care, just to slip the guy who will like devour anything an a small white pill. Like,
Yeah, but she at least has the decency to think like, I should be giving this guy 2 meatball subs with extra cheese.
yeah,
We should be giving this guy turkey sandwiches with no mayo.
and
We
she
should
doesn't have any medical training whatsoever. So that's pretty impressive that she came to that conclusion. She should stop.
Yeah, she's actually better at taking care of him than his own nurse.
Yeah. You got to go to a nurse. Here's a nerd's rope. Wrap this around your neck.
But yeah, this is a pretty joyless movie, except for getting like the kind of cynical joy out of watching the binge eating scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give it 1.5 meatball subs out of 5.
Yeah.
Half a meatball.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the half that's he blapped out when he got high
You
blicked.
choked, Frasier. You choked.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I think that it was very hyped up. I think that, the 10-minute standing ovation that Brendan Fraser got, and everybody saying that he was going to win the Oscar before anybody even saw the movie. They just saw that it was a sad movie about an obese man, and nobody's seen anything like that, and so it's got to be Oscar worthy. And yeah, I think that Brendan does an okay job, but I don't think that it's anything like spectacular. I don't think that he did something that, any other actor committed to that role could have done.
James Gandolfini would have been a good.
Gandolfini could have been great. Yeah, I just thought that it's comical how like people talk about it as this deeply emotional thing where there's no way you're going to be able to walk away from it without sobbing. And it is an emotional movie, but it's so overwritten and just makes you feel more uncomfortable than anything. Like you're just kind of like, why are these people abusing him verbally the entire movie? And like he's very sick, he's going to die. Like why do they keep like he keeps saying he's gonna die, and everyone's like, fuck you,
go to the hospital. I can't.
Yeah, they treat him like a toddler. He acts like a toddler. He's like a big fat baby.
Everything's amazing. Yeah, like, and he's like, he's an English teacher, and he like literally just the only adjective he knows is amazing. Amazing. Well, yeah, I give this movie 2 pieces of pizza stacked on top of each other.
That's 4 pieces.
Oh, you're taking away a half. It's going from 2.5 to 2.
Well, a half will be the deli ham on top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
2 pieces of pizza, a sliced deli ham.
With a squirt of salad dressing. With a little ranch on top.
A squirt.
Yeah. It's like the whole half the bottle.
He goes down, up, down, that thing.
Yeah, it really does. Like, that's the cocktail, like pour.
I would like to see a pizza bar where he's running the bar and just people going nuts for the amount of ranch that he pours on slaves.
But yeah, I mean, I thought that it was important that we talk about this movie, because every other podcast or review, like anytime somebody's interviewing Brendan Fraser, first of all,
what do you mean? Brendan? He's recording. The man. We were shooting. Darren.
Drew, hold on.
Drew, hold on. Drew.
Stop.
Drew, stop it, Drew.
No, all of Brendan Fraser's interviews or podcast appearances, he talks at the low. Elvis, everything that he says is about this. He's not enunciating anything, and everything is about this volume. And then like it's like Mark Maron's like, so what'd you think? Yeah.
It was that's great, Brendan. That's great. Thanks for making the time coming down. Zoo Boys. Thank you very much.
Yeah. But just the fact that like nobody really feels comfortable just saying this movie isn't good because it's like such a sensitive issue, and like, you know, fat shaming is such a hot button issue, and it's like, you know, whatever. Yeah, make a movie about somebody who has an eating disorder, but telling it in this way, you're not going to get any leeway from this podcast. Okay, like, we are not going to kowtow to the woke mafia.
Christ, Austin.
Yeah, I think it's about time we beach this whale.
Yeah. Well, Drew, you're my brother. I love you.
Drew, you're my cousin.
I love you, my cousin.
But you don't love him.
I love him.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I love you too, Zach. And you know, we're all family here. Thanks, Drew, for coming on and talking about The Whale with us. Sorry we made you watch it, and sorry we wouldn't shut up about it for the last 3 weeks. But I think you know why now.
It ruined.
Oh, should we talk about how after we saw Infinity Pool, we were like out of the pool and into the whale?
Come on, everybody!
Yeah, we were trying to get the whole audience to go over and watch The Whale with us.
We're at the Michigan Theater in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Infinity Pool got out at like 9:15, and there was a 9:30 whale.
What? We can catch the whale? Double feature pool and the whale? Out of the pool?
Out of the pool and into the whale.
Come on, everybody!
One of our many inside jokes. Just wanted to let you in on that.
Yeah.
Gotta let you in on that.
Well, congratulations to anybody who listened through this entire podcast. And yeah, we'll see you again on Film with Family. Bye, Zach. Bye, Drew.
Bye, guys.
Bye.